Good morning, this is Luke with Austin's Appliance Service. After yesterday's video and asking questions, I think these videos are going to become a little less consistent. Probably go to more of a, as the mood strikes me to make a video. I don't want to keep producing these things or keep making them if they don't seem to be being received, and they're falling off all the time. And so anyways, I think I'll just continue to make them as I see fit, as the mood strikes me. The only thing I will say is Fridays I still will do Gospel Friday. I'm going to do that. I'm going to continue with that. But the other stuff will be just more spontaneous. And again, these things are being uploaded to YouTube if you'd like to go over there and subscribe. But today, I was thinking we'd talk about refrigerator tips, just in general, just some different observations about refrigerators that, not any particular subject, but just refrigerators, some things to know about them. Probably the number one thing to know about your refrigerators, a lot of these new ones have a filter reset light. A lot of them now are even putting air filters in them. That light is nothing more than a timer. And at the end, when the time's up, the light changes color. It has no idea as to the condition of your water filter or and some of these having now air filters, they don't have a clue as to the condition of them. I've met many people that religiously change their water filter because the light said so. And then you get investigating, and their water's already treated before it even gets to the refrigerator. They're already removing anything before it ever gets to the refrigerator. What is that filter removing? Water filters were a way and a means of providing a constant income to these companies, honestly. You go back to the beginning of refrigerators that had an ice maker and a water dispenser. They didn't have filters. Somebody came along one day and said, hey, if we put a filter in there, then they got to buy a filter. Then somewhere along the way, they realized if we put a light on it and tell them the filter needs to be changed, they'll keep buying filters. And so that's essentially how the water and air filter game came along. If you have good water, if you have water that's already treated, there's really no reason you need to change your filter unless the water pressure drops on your dispenser or the ice maker stops working well, or unless you have a reason that leads you to believe the filter is plugged, there's really no reason to change that water or air filter. You are essentially throwing your money away. That light that turns red on your refrigerator, then after you change a filter, you reset it. It's just a light. It's just a light, and it's just working on a timer. It has no way of monitoring the condition of your filter. The only exception to that rule is GE went one step further in some of their refrigerators, and I'm rather irritated with them over it. They put a microchip on their filter, so now they know how old that filter is, and so they can essentially force you to change that filter. That's the only one, and you'll know because the water will quit flowing out of the refrigerator altogether. They actually shut the water off, and you can't cheat it. Everything else, it's just a light. The GE one kind of goes in on an angle up in the top left corner typically, and then kind of rolls in. It's unique. Most of them twist in, and so you'll know though you won't have water. Another thing to mention on refrigerators. Everybody always asks me what's the correct setting. All of them are the correct setting. There is no wrong setting. You can't set your refrigerator wrong. You can't make it you're not going to turn it into a wine cooler. You're not going to turn your refrigerator into a freezer. It's not possible. They won't allow it. They engineered that thing that all of your adjustment is within proper temperature. So if I'm on if I'm on the warmest setting, I think it's running like 42 degrees, 40 to 42 degrees. If I'm on the coldest, say 7 or 9, whatever that higher number is, I'm running down around 33, 34 degrees. That's refrigerator temp, 33 to 34 degrees up to, say, about 42. That is proper refrigerator temperature range, and that's all you're allowed to adjust. You are not allowed to make that refrigerator 60 degrees. So there is no right or wrong setting. It's just right. And it has to do with your preference. The milk seems to be spoiling a little quick, which these days you don't hardly see. But here's one that's more applicable. The ice cream is a brick. I can't scoop it. So we warm things up a touch. But you're adjusting within the proper range. Freezer, same thing. The coldest you're going to make that freezer is about -5. The warmest you're going to make that freezer is about 5. You have about 10 degrees worth of adjustment in that freezer, and that's it. So you're never wrong. You know, a lot of people always ask me, what's the right setting? They're all right. They're not going to let you set it wrong. What else? Refrigerators, as far as odors. Odors is a big one. If you ever get odors in your refrigerator, activated kitty litter with activated charcoal is a good one to remove odors. Put a cup of that in. Baking soda is another good one to remove odors. And so that's another thing to remember on refrigerators, because, you know, a lot of these refrigerators are now selling these air filters that are charcoal air filters, and you'll pay way more than you need to. Kitty litter and baking soda that box of baking soda that you rip the face off and put in your fridge works as good as anything else. Another thing with refrigerators is a lot of the newer ones that get a lot of noise complaints, a lot of knocks, bangs, pings. A lot of that is the insulator, and the difference I would say even the difference in the gauge of the steel. You know, a lot of that older stuff was just built heavier. And some of it, if you go back far enough, even had fiberglass insulation in it, which you have in your walls in your house. That deadens noise, that dampens noise, that absorbs it. But this like insulating foam that goes in a lot of this new stuff, it hardens and it transfers a lot of noise. Most of those noises you're hearing are just that. And there is no good fix to get rid of them. They're part of... The thing is, it's kind of that old question. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Your old refrigerators still made those same noises, but there were things there to eat up that noise. What you're hearing a lot of times is what we call... I don't know why they call it expansion noise, because to me it's the other way around. It's contraction. But a lot of times what you're hearing is when the Freon is first hitting the evaporator surface. The evaporator is a thin metal. It's a coil. Freon just goes back and forth. As the Freon hits that metal, it's contracting the metal, and you get these knocking, popping noises. I've had people say, hey, this thing is like someone's knocking on the door in the middle of the night. Part of that is true. Part of that a lot of times is you're getting used to the new noises. You know that if you've ever had a new appliance in the house, there are new noises, and eventually you get used to those noises and you kind of drown them out. You don't notice them anymore. And so part of it is that too. Part of it is just, I got this new thing and it makes new noises. But I get a lot of noise complaints on new fridges, and a lot of that is just, again, the difference in material, how heavy they were built. But if the big thing with refrigerators is a lot of people will immediately panic and say, oh, it's making these noises, it's going to die. Well, how's the food? Is it cold? Are things spoiling any quicker than they ever have? Or does everything feel about the same as it ever has? Then if it's cold and nothing's really changed in the way it's holding food, there's probably nothing there to really panic about. I mean, yes, call me, come out, find out where this source is coming from, have some peace of mind that it's not going to die. But a lot of times, if it's cold, and it's as cold as it should be, it's probably okay. What else? See if I can think of anything else for refrigerators this morning. That's about all I've got off the top of my head. These aren't real rehearsed. There's just the general things I'm seeing. So anyways, again, these videos are going to become more inconsistent, I guess you'd say. I've had plans and intentions of doing them daily. They don't seem to be being circulated and received. I mean, the first one made me, like, I did one, really took off, and I thought, okay, maybe this is a form and a medium people want. But ever since then, it's kind of just continually tapered down, tapered off. I am going to continue Gospel Fridays because I enjoy that and I want to do that, so I'm going to keep doing that. But as far as the rest, don't expect to see them every morning. I'm just not seeing the call for it, the need for it. I don't want to be tone deaf and just keep doing it, even though people are getting worn out with it. So, anyways, again, videos will be uploaded to YouTube, and you guys have a good day, and I'm going to get to work.